Thanks for joining us. We are live at 5 and we are ready to get your thoughts on the stories that we have for you guys today. But first, please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a follow on Facebook if you want to get in on the conversations that we have. So the stories that we talk about, we post them every day. Let's get started. I'm here today with Jennifer Bellamy and Cheryl Preheim. It is a busy hump day.
It is.
A lot of good stuff to talk about.
This got my attention today. There is a doctor in Atlanta who says that e-gamers, people who play video games hoping to make money from it, need to be treated like other professional athletes, medically speaking. She says this is an untapped field because doctors just don't know what long-term video gaming does to your body or your mind. So I wanted to read you a quote that I read from Dr. Vonda Wright. She's the chief of sports medicine at Northside Hospital in Atlanta. She says, this is all part of treating this newest group of professional athletes like we've always treated traditional athletes, she explains, because your neck, your hands, your shoulders, your posture, your lower back, all of that impacted enough that she believes medicine needs to handle it. Now, this is freaking a lot of parents out because they say, my kids may not be making money, but they play enough that they could try to be. And what is happening to kids in the basement or playing up in their room because they're doing it hours upon hours as well.
And they probably don't realize that something is going on, or like, oh, I'm having headaches, or I'm having issues, you know, with my vision. They just don't know that this is an impact of video gaming. Now, the World Health Organization deemed video game addiction to be a thing. So I feel like this industry is already leaning toward a medical sort of wave of information that's coming out.
Yeah, and it makes sense. You know, people who are on computers all day, we've already said stuff about them, about you need to get up, you need to walk, about people having carpal tunnel and typing all the time. So you would think that that kind of thing would lead into this, where you see your posture and being hunched over and being in front of a screen all day. It's kind of similar. And we already know that that's an issue for working folks. Why not for growing kids?
And here it's starting really, really young. I wanted to share one of the comments from some of the moms out there. She says, I have a 14-year-old boy who would go brain dead on Fortnite if I allowed it. This is both horrifying and fascinating because there's two tentacles to this. One is the physical impact, but doctors really don't know either, really over time, what it's doing to your brain. It's just new enough. It really is overall new enough. No one was playing Pac-Man that many hours back in the day, right?
I do love that it's on the radar, though, and you have doctors out here saying, like, wait a minute, this is something new that we should start looking at. So it's going to be pretty unique to see how this progresses over time.
Absolutely.
All right. So what do you have today?
So a lot of folks have been talking about this one. There is a Walmart store in California, and they have put behind glass, locked, sealed areas of the store hair care products that are typically purchased by African-American men and women. This is a look at it. And so a lot of people are talking about this, saying you're already calling me a criminal before I even get in the store, because those products only are the ones that are locked up. You have to get a person to come walk you. They have to come unlock it. You can't examine a product. You can't take the time and read the ingredients, look at the directions. You have to get somebody to come get you the product. Then they walk it to the front and leave it at the front of the store. You can't even put it in your cart and go shopping, according to people who were saying that this is an issue.
And there are other hair care products right there.
Just out.
Yeah.
Oof.
I think it's a very strong stance from a nationwide, you know, such a big, gigantic company like a Walmart. If it was a neighborhood beauty supply store and you had these issues and it was like very contained, but for Walmart, I think that it just could have been a different way to go about it. We just did a story this week here about a local Walmart in Gwinnett County that had 70% or so of the crime in that community.
The shoplifting
was
was
the
right
shoplifting from the Walmart. So they're telling them to get more officers. I think it's a better way to address it versus singling out this one little thing and
a
saying
certain product that appeals to a certain person. Because I was thinking about what other things are locked up at stores. I've seen razors a lot of times, and if I went to the razor section and just the women's razors were behind lock and key and the men's were, it would get my attention.
Right.
Because if you're making that delineation about one specific product, it would get my attention.
Exactly. A lot of folks talking. I do want to show one comment. This is from Carolyn. She says, it seems awful, but maybe they've had many cases of theft and didn't know what else to do to prevent it. We should try to know both sides of the story. But I do want to point out that this is an issue that we've seen a long time. There have always been stories about people in beauty care salons with being followed by proprietors because people think you look suspicious. And so this isn't a new story, it's just a new location.
It is.
And so I think it's re-emerging that feeling of frustration.
And it speaks to your point, if there really is an issue that a business needs to look at, what is the best way to address it in a way that is respectful of the people who are coming and spending their hard-earned money at your store,
exactly.
right? And I was talking to a friend about this earlier today, and she has a young son who's a middle schooler, and she says, listen, I teach him because he's a young African-American boy not to put his hands in his pockets at the checkout line because she feels like someone's going to assume he's doing something, and that made my heart sink because that feels wrong.
So you're already putting that out there. It's like you don't even have a clean slate or a fair chance to walk in and have a good experience at the store. Well, let's see if they do something about it in the future. It's a talker, so we're going to continue to check on it. Speaking of locking things up, locking up your cell phones for kids at school. There is a school in California that is locking up kids' cell phones because they say they are so distracted that they are not paying attention in class at all. We have some video of this device. It's pretty unique. We want to show it to you. So it's a pouch. So everyone still gets to keep their own pouch with their own cell phone inside. But when they walk into school, they're going to tap the pouch on the magnetic strip that locks it. So you don't have to worry about, this big pile of phones and someone says their phone goes missing. So the pouch actually locks it for the day. Once you walk into school, you have the administrator standing there saying, go ahead and tap it. We're going to get rid of it for the day. But if for an emergency, your teachers throughout the day have the tool to unlock it. If you needed to call mom or dad for some reason throughout the day. Here is what I love about this story, though.
Tell me.
They said that they are so much more engaged, and even the kids admit it. They're talking to each other at lunch. Their grades are better because they're paying attention in class.
Sure, I've often wondered, how do teachers get anything done if there's always this happening? There's so many issues about it. But even at lunch, if kids aren't actually having a conversation with one another because they're just checking their feeds or having conversations online. So there's so much about that just makes sense. I'm kind of surprised it's the first school to do this that we're hearing about, and you wonder if people are just going to start jumping on board right away.
Probably not, because the pouches cost $12 a piece, and so the school district did have to foot the bill for the pouches. I guess they felt it was worth it for the benefit that they were getting from the students. You know what I think? I need this as an adult.
That's true.
It's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
I say make the kids go back to the old school notes. You know, we used to have the intricate folds and
I was the best
for your
folder.
Eyes only, you know. I mean, you kind of take it old school.
Notes.
Yeah.
And I think too, we've talked here amongst the ladies about the mental health impacts of being on the social media all day.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's just this real break from that world, a full 7 hours away from engaging that world. You get back to the likes and shares and stuff when you get home, but during school, I think it's really cool that they actually took the time to get away from that.
I was going to pass J Bell a note that says yes, no, maybe.
Thank you.
Check.
You know what that means, right?
Yes, I'll check it. I don't have a utensil. I don't have a running utensil.
See, we don't even have pens or paper anymore, but we all have our phone.
It's so true. All right, we want to know what you think about all of our stories. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We post it every weekday, and follow us on social media. We love when your comments are part of the show. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. I found some notes. I was looking through old pictures last night.
Yeah.
I found some little essays.